Now, in today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about the situation in Mexico with the 4 Americans that were kidnapped and how that can possibly affect the Shanquella Robinsons case. Because as of right now, there still hasn't been any justice for Shanquella Robinson and what the Kaibo 6 has done to this young lady. Now, before I get into it, consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell so that you could be notified for more content like this. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button. And here's the thing, subscribing and smashing that like button doesn't cost a thing. So do your boy a favor and let's help the channel grow.
It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, I'm leaving no for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our part.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy, Walls P. I don't know if you heard or not, but pretty much everywhere on the news, they're talking about the 4 Americans that went down to Mexico because one of the 4 Americans wanted to get a tummy tuck, wind up driving into cartel territory, were basically held at gunpoint, kidnapped. 2 out of the 4 were deceased, and the other 2 are back in America. One of them was hospitalized because they were severely injured.
The 4 Americans who were violently kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico last week have been found, according to the governor of that region. 2 were found dead, 1 alive, but wounded, and the 4th victim is unharmed. This video appearing to show the group being held at gunpoint led from their white minivan to the back of a pickup truck in Matamoros, Mexico. ABC News has not verified the video, but sources familiar with the matter have confirmed it is a part of the FBI's investigation.
These sorts of attacks are unacceptable. Our thoughts are with the families of these individuals, and we will continue to coordinate with Mexico and push them to bring those responsible to justice.
The 4 kidnapped victims, now identified as Latavia McGee, Shaeed Woodard, Zindell Brown, and Eric Williams. McGee's mother says her daughter was traveling to Mexico to undergo cosmetic surgery. McGee and Woodward's cousins saying they're desperate for answers, adding McGee is a mother of 5.
It's hard on them also because we can't give them answers because we don't know anything.
Friday morning, I texted and I didn't get anything.
U.S. officials explaining how gunmen began shooting at the group's minivan, which had North Carolina plates, then kidnapped the people inside. 1 Mexican bystander was also killed. And a warning to American travelers that Tamaulipas state is dominated by drug cartels and is rated as do not travel in America's travel advisory system, on par with nations like North Korea and Afghanistan.
We encourage Americans to heed that advice.
The Mexican president announcing at least 1 person has been arrested in connection to the kidnapping of the 4 Americans.
Now, as far as the individual who is reported that is in custody, that individual name is Jose Guadalupe. Authorities have not yet said whether Guadalupe is part of the violent Gulf cartel, the gang suspected of kidnapping the group that operates in the region. When they found him, he was allegedly guarding the shack when the police found the 4 Americans kidnapped. Now, there has been a lot of blowback about these 4 Americans for going all the way to Mexico to get this tummy tuck or cosmetic surgery. That's neither here or there. I have my opinion on it. You probably have your opinion on it. But at the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened to these 4 people. How does this affect the Shanquella Robinson case? For those of you who aren't up to speed with Shanquella Robinson, that's the woman who went down to Mexico with 6 of her fake friends. At the time, she thought they were friends. Come to find out, these friends were not really friends. One of them attacked her. It's alleged that there was another person that attacked, but we don't know how truthful that is. But at the end of the day, she was attacked. The other fake friend sat there and watched, and she ultimately lost her life from the attack that these so-called friends did to this woman. Since then, there's been a lot of public outcry, justice for Shanquella Robinson. We made several videos breaking down all the nuances, all the intricate details about the case. Just look through the catalog or wait till the end of the video where you could click those videos and check them out for yourself. But with that being said, I come to a sad conclusion about the state of the Shanquella Robinson case and justice for Shanquella Robinson. Now, this is my opinion, my theories. We all believe that the cartels are deeply rooted in Mexico, right? So hear me out. It's been months now that we've been calling for justice for Shanquella Robinson. The Mexican authorities are saying that they forwarded everything to the US or to the FBI. The FBI is saying they're waiting on Mexico to do whatever it is they need to do. So basically, it's a back and forth of pointing the fingers. At the end of the day, the Cabo Six is still walking around freely. Mexico still wants their suspect. They want them extradited. It's getting nowhere. So now you have a case of these 4 Americans who basically were kidnapped, 2 of them murdered, and US is seeking for justice for the families and for the 2 survivors. Now, if we believe that the cartel is deeply rooted in Mexico, and you get a lot of people that say the cartel basically run Mexico and there's a lot of corruption, for them to give up the suspects that did this, that can probably cause problems for Mexico. That's my opinion. Another thing we could look at too is this suspect who they're not even sure is a suspect, they just have him in custody. At the end of the day, Mexico on their end is saying that they're looking for the extradition of the Cabo Six, mainly Dejanay Jackson. So if they've been looking for the extradition of Dejanay Jackson and they still have not got it, why would they acquiesce to the people responsible for what happened to these 4 Americans? These 2 survivors, the 2 that are dead. When Shanquella Robinson was murdered by the Cabo Six, that lost Mexico a lot of money. That made tourists not want to go there. The villa that they was renting was basically a hot commodity for them, bringing a lot of money into the country, and they couldn't rent that villa out anymore because it was a crime scene. So basically, it hurt their pockets because it painted a bad look on Mexico. And on top of that, that was a tourist spot. Now, this spot where the crime happened, this isn't a tourist spot. So for them to not give up these people and not ruffle any feathers with the cartel, why would they be obligated to give the US what they want when they've been asking for what they wanted, which was the Cabo Six, for months now? So I think that put the Shanquella Robinson case stuck between a rock and a hard place, because here you have these 2 countries pretty much in a de-measuring contest. That's what it looks like, and that's my opinion on the matter. Because here you have the Cabo Six walking around freely, and they're saying, hey, we put all the paperwork together. And then it say, hey, the FBI is going over the information. Then they're saying, hey, one person is in custody. No, they're not in custody. It's so much back and forth. And the family is not getting any type of response from the FBI, which we explained why. We made videos on that. Again, it'll be at the end screen of the video. At the end of the day, regardless whatever de-measuring contest or whatever games is being played by the 2 entities, it's the families that are suffering and the victims that are suffering. We can't be having these type of games being played when it comes to people losing their lives or people being kidnapped and crimes, period, on foreign soil. And the sad part about it is that since the Shanquella Robinson case happened in Mexico, you can't arrest the Cabo Six in the US because it happened in Mexico. It didn't happen in US territory or US soil. And it ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. Because even if the US wanted to arrest them, they possibly can't, because with that video, yes, it shows a fight breaking out, but it technically don't show Shanquella Robinson lost her life from it. Now, it definitely, with the autopsy and everything, it breaks down into detail, but at the end of the day, they still have an argument saying when we last left Shanquella Robinson, she was alive. The only way the US could actually arrest the Cabo Six is if there was irrefutable evidence that showed that they conspired in the United States to do what they were doing in Mexico. But if there's no evidence of that, the hands is tied to Mexico. US still have to ultimately extradite these people to Mexico so that justice could be served. So the question now is, with this kidnapping in Mexico, will that affect the Shanquella Robinson case? Because Mexico been asking for the Cabo Six for months now, and now US is turning to Mexico to try and get these assailants to the US so that justice can be served to the families and to the victims. Let me know what you think on my opinion and my theory on said matter, because to me, it makes perfect sense. Do I like it? Absolutely not, because I want justice served for everybody involved. Shanquella Robinson, the 4 victims, I want justice served. But again, it's a lot of moving parts. And since these crimes didn't happen on American soil, that's where the problem lies, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, do you think that this case can indirectly affect the Shanquella Robinsons case? Do you think the two countries are actually in a demeasuring contest and it's going to keep things at a standstill? Either way, let me know what you think. I would love to hear your take on the matter. If it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell so that you could be notified on more content like this. If you want to follow us on our other social media platforms, the links are in the description. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video. That's going to do it for this episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy Walls P, and I will catch you, ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.